What is the situation with the water? Obviously, in Palisades, ran out last night in the hydrants. I was talking to the firefighter on this block. They left because there was no water in the hydrant here.
The local folks are trying to figure that out. I mean, just when you have a system that's not dissimilar to what we've seen in other extraordinarily large-scale fires, whether it be pipe, electricity, or whether it just be the complete overwhelm of the system. I mean, those hydrants are typical for 2 or 3 fires, maybe 1 fire. You have something at this scale, but again, that's going to be determined by the local.
All right, Donald Trump calling for Gavin Newsom's resignation effective immediately over his failure to properly manage California's natural resources and to protect its citizens. We reported on the coming fight between the incoming Trump administration and the state of California. We've been talking about it for a while. Well, it is popping off, people. This is administrative war. There is a lot happening right now behind the scenes, and Trump tipped his hat yesterday on what they're planning to do, what they're going after legally, how he's going to fix these ridiculous decade-long problems that the people of California have been forced to live with. But before we get started, thank you for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps out the channel, and consider subscribing so you don't miss these regular updates. So here was Trump during his first term with Gavin Newsom on the ground in California after one of their major wildfires. This is an important clip. Watch.
It's cleaned out and protected. You got to take care of the floors, you know, the floors of the forests. Very important. You look at other countries where they do it differently, and it's a whole different story. I was with the president of Finland, and he said, we have much different. We're a forest nation. He called it a forest nation. And they spend a lot of time on raking and cleaning and doing things, and they don't have any problem. And when it is, it's a very small problem. So I know everybody's looking at that, to that end, and it's going to work out.
People laughed at him. The media mocked him. Democrats and California's elite said he was stupid. Trump doesn't know what he's talking about. Who rakes the forest floor? Why would anyone suggest opening the dams? Look, a lot of this is preventable, almost all of it. Meanwhile, if you live in LA, there's nothing left. This is what it looks like now. Look at this. Thousands of structures, over 2,000 homes and businesses gone. Water tanks totally dry, completely and utterly dry. Not a drop of water left. Why? We reported this on X. If you're not following me there, I recommend you do. Why does California have more wildfires than any other state in the country? Why is it so dry in California when it's a coastal haven? Why is there no water in California, a state that used to have more fresh water than almost any other state in the country? Why? Because California's government refuses to open the dams. Almost every river in that state is dammed. The indigenous communities have been warning about this for years, asking to tear these stupid structures, these stupid century-old dams down for years. Gavin Newsom has refused. The federal government refuses. We're going to get into this because Trump tried to do this. He tried to get this done during his first term. In 2020, he signed an executive order to do this, but California sued to block it. Then Biden reversed it when Trump left office.
President-elect Trump is calling out California's Gavin Newsom over the state's response to the fires and its long-term planning.
Nate Foy is live in West Palm Beach, Florida. Hey, Nate.
Hey, guys. Good morning. President-elect Donald Trump is highly critical of California Governor Gavin Newsom's water management decisions in the years preceding these horrific fires. Namely, Trump says that Newsom should have and refused to sign a water declaration or a water restoration declaration that could have put California in a much better position to fight these fires.
I've been trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish. And for the sake of a smelt, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today in Los Angeles. This is a true tragedy, and it's a mistake of the governor, and you could say the administration.
So Trump is referring to a 2020 memorandum that he signed meant to bring more water to Los Angeles and other parts of California, but the state said it wasn't scientifically justified and sued to block it for concerns about endangered species.
Well, yesterday, Trump announced that he will force Gavin Newsom to redirect water from the Klamath and from other rivers into California cities instead of just dumping it into the Pacific. He wants to tear down these dams, saying this is a true tragedy and it's a mistake of the governor and the Biden administration. Roll the tape.
Given your criticism of Governor Gavin Newsom, are you willing to work with him, and do you believe that federal aid should be provided to California for as long as it takes?
Well, it's very sad because I've been trying to get Gavin Newsom to allow water to come. You'd have tremendous water up there. They send it out to the Pacific because they're trying to protect a tiny little fish, which is in other areas, by the way, called a smelt. And for the sake of a smelt, they have no water. They had no water in the fire hydrants today in Los Angeles. It was a terrible thing. And we're going to get that done. It's going to finally be done. I got it done from the federal side, and he didn't want to sign it, but it's not going to happen again like that. There's no reason. Can you imagine? You have farmers that don't have any water in California. They have plenty of water. They don't have a drought. They send it out to the Pacific, and it's crazy. So what's happening in California is a true tragedy. I know those areas very well. I have many friends living in those houses. That is a true tragedy. Nobody ever thought. I mean, virtually Beverly Hills and areas around Beverly Hills are being decimated. The biggest homes, some of the most valuable homes in the world are just destroyed. I don't even know. You know, you talk about a tax base. If those people leave, you're going to lose half your tax base of California. This is a true tragedy, and it's a mistake of the governor, and you could say the administration. They don't have any water. They didn't have water in the fire hydrants. They don't have water. And yet they have, the water comes from, you know where? Up north. And it comes down at levels, they give millions and millions of barrels of gallons of water that they have, and they send it out into the Pacific. For the Pacific, it's like a drop, it's nothing. But for California, it would take care of the whole state. So what's happened is a tragedy, and the governor has not done a good job. With that being said, I got along well with him. When he was governor, we worked together very well, and we would work together. I guess it looks like we're going to be the one having to rebuild it. But what happened there, I don't think there's anything that I've ever seen quite like it. And the insurance companies are going to have a big problem because you're talking about big, big dollars.
These people are incompetent. They're culpable, in my opinion. What they've done to the state of California is criminal, and its citizens are living with the consequences. The Palisades fire, it's still raging and expanding. 17,000 acres have burned as of this morning, 0% contained. It's now spread to the Hollywood Hills. 5 people have unfortunately lost their lives. 130,000 people are under evacuation orders, making this the most destructive fire in LA history. Tens of billions of dollars in damage thus far. And those are just the early estimates. 2,000 homes, businesses, and other buildings have been destroyed or damaged. And right now, my big question is, how did this fire start? Nobody likes to ask that question. All of these California fires, I always wonder that. Is it possible these aren't natural disasters at all, but actually eco-extremism, climate change activists trying to bring light attention to how bad the climate is? I don't know, but Californians are asking the question. Finally, hundreds of residents seeing and reporting suspicious behavior before these fires even began. This local resident posting this photo before the fire was even reported, saying, "My neighbor saw a small fire start at 5:35 above our house in Hollywood Hills in the Runyon Canyon hiking trail. I asked him what he thought of it at the moment. He said arson. There is no power lines up there. Someone started it intentionally." And look, there are dozens of these credible reports of this being intentional eco-terrorism. People are witnessing fires starting in areas that aren't even burning. Andrew Huberman posting this. People are lighting fires in otherwise non-burning urban areas of LA. Saw this happen firsthand at 302 Pico in Santa Monica, saying he saw it personally. Called it in, and fire department and police responded. Stay safe and call in any activity ASAP. We don't want any more flames out here. Look, if someone is responsible for this, anyone found guilty of arson, starting a wildfire especially, in my opinion, should be treated like the worst of the worst. Worse than a murderer, if that's even possible. Throw the freaking book at them. The amount of damage and pure carnage this causes is incredible. It also shapes public policy. That could be the goal here, folks. It also destroys the forest. When you're talking about NorCal, Northern California wildfires especially, you're talking ancient forest, real old growth I mean, that could take hundreds of years to grow those forests back. Right now, this is in SoCal, Los Angeles. But either way, I've always thought many of these wildfires in California aren't climate related at all. They're arson. I mean, that's my opinion. Some jackass either accidentally starting the fire while camping because he doesn't know what he's doing, or arson, someone purposely setting the fire. And if you think that sounds crazy, think again. 3 months ago in September, a California fire agency worker was arrested on arson charges, an employee of California State Fire Protection Agency. The guy was working for Cal Fire, for heaven's sake, has been arrested on suspicion of starting 5 forest fires in recent weeks. Robert Hernandez, 38-year-old apparatus engineer at Cal Fire, was charged with 5 counts of arson, suspected of burning, igniting the blazes while off duty in 3 areas of Northern California between August 15th and September 14th. What the hell is wrong with these people? Throw the freaking book at him. One of the worst crimes you could do, in my opinion. Just the sheer level of damage one dumbass can cause is crazy. The California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection's latest update this morning shows that the Palisades fire has now burned through more than 17,200 acres. The Eaton fire has expanded to 10,000 acres. Both of them are still 0% contained, zero containment as of this morning. Donald Trump weighing in on Truth Social, writing, one of the best and most beautiful parts of the United States of America is burning down to the ground. It's ashes. And Gavin Newsom should resign. This is all his fault. Amen. And it's not just Gavin Newsom. The mayor of Los Angeles cut the fire department by over $17 million last year in 2024. Cut the fire department by $17 million. And now Democrats are turning on them, turning on their own. Celebrities are pissed. Watch out. Sarah Foster writing on X yesterday, we pay the highest taxes in California. Our fire hydrants were empty. Our vegetation overgrown, brush not cleared. Our reservoirs were emptied by our governor because they wanted to save a fish. Our fire department budget was cut by our mayor, but thank the Lord, drug addicts are getting their drug kits. Saying the mayor and Gavin Newsom resign, she says. Your far left policies have ruined our state and also our party. Booyah. It's not just Sarah Foster, folks. There are dozens of these celebrities posting statements like this. California's, in my opinion, in the middle of a Canada moment. It reminds me of Justin Trudeau of Canada losing all popular support. Are we about to see Gavin Newsom resign? And you can't blame them. Their mayor has been in Ghana, in Africa, while their city was burning, while their homes were burning. She was halfway around the world helping Ghanaians instead of her own people. Watch as reporters found her last night, the mayor of Los Angeles, returning from her Africa trip, speechless. Literally, she was speechless about how to respond, about how to act. She didn't know what to do. These are the people who are running some of the most important and largest cities in America. Roll the tape.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Can you back up, boss? Appreciate it.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home? Madam Mayor, let me ask you just again, have you anything to say to the citizens today as you return?
No. They're gonna come.
Ma'am, hold on 1 second.
Madam Mayor, just a few words for the citizens today as you return to deal with the catastrophe.
Can you take this down?
And if you watch this channel regularly, you'll know we've been covering this often. We did a deep dive on this last month that Trump is coming for California. He wants to open it up. There will be a war taking place, administrative war, once Trump gets sworn in all over California. Trump wants to solve these decades-long problems plaguing the state, and he may have the support he needs to do that. I mean, it's unfortunate something as terrible as this wildfire had to happen to make that possible. All right, that wraps up this episode. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.